Are you sure you want to stay married to her? My father-in-law's voice was calm, almost kind, as he asked me that question. Then, he pressed play on his phone. A woman's voice filled the room. My voice, cut, twisted, and stitched into a lie so sharp it felt like glass, slicing through my chest. My husband turned to me with a look I had never seen before. That was the second everything I loved began to fall apart. And that was the second I knew someone wanted me destroyed. If you want to know how I got here, stay with me. Like this story, watch till the end, and subscribe, because what happened next changed my life forever. I never thought my life would sound like a bad movie. I was just a normal woman. My name is Emily Carter. I am 32 years old. I work as a school counselor in a small town in Ohio. I help kids talk about feelings they don't understand yet. I help parents breathe when they feel lost. I believed in calm talks, soft words, and fixing things with truth. I believed in my marriage, too. I married Daniel Wright 5 years ago. He was kind, quiet, and steady. He laughed with his whole face. He held my hand when I crossed the street, even when no cars were coming. He told me I was safe with him, and I believed him. Daniel's father, Robert Wright, was a powerful man in our town. He owned real estate, local businesses, and half the city council owed him favors. People smiled when he walked into a room, but their eyes always watched him. He spoke softly, but everyone listened. From the start, Robert never liked me. He was polite, always polite, but his smile never reached his eyes when he looked at me. He would ask questions that felt like tests. Emily, do you think a wife should put her husband first, no matter what? Emily, do you plan to have children soon? Daniel needs an heir. Emily, do you think love is enough to keep a marriage strong? I tried hard. I cooked for him. I listened to his long stories. I thanked him for every small thing. Still, I felt like I was standing on thin ice. Daniel said, I was imagining it. He's old-fashioned, Daniel told me. He just wants what's best for us. I wish I had trusted my fear. The first crack in my life came on a Tuesday. I remember because I was wearing my favorite blue sweater, the one Daniel bought me after our first big fight. I came home early from work and found Daniel sitting at the kitchen table, staring at his phone. He didn't look up when I kissed his cheek. Everything okay? I asked. He flinched. Actually flinched. Yeah, he said too fast. Just tired. That night, he turned away from me in bed. His back felt like a wall. I lay there, staring at the ceiling, feeling something cold grow in my stomach. The next week, little things started to change. Daniel stopped sharing his day with me. His phone was always face down. He took calls outside. When I asked who it was, he said, work, even though it was 10 at night. Then came the first message. It arrived on a Sunday morning. Unknown number. You should know what kind of woman your husband is married to. Below it was an audio file. My hands shook as I pressed play. It sounded like me. My voice. Laughing softly. Saying words I would never say. I don't love him, the voice said. I married him for security. His father's money. My heart slammed so hard I thought I might pass out. It wasn't real. I knew it wasn't. The words were cut, glued, bent. Pieces of old voice messages, maybe. Sentences I never spoke together. I showed Daniel right away. This isn't me, I said, tears running down my face. Please listen. You know me. He listened. His jaw tightened. He didn't touch me. I need time, he said. Time felt like a door closing. More messages came. Emails. Screenshots. Fake chats with a man named Mark. Photos of a woman who looked like me, but wasn't me, holding hands with someone in a dark parking lot. Each one chipped away at Daniel's trust. And every time, Robert was there. Calm. Supportive. Helpful. Daniel, son, he said one night when we were at his house. I don't want to believe this either. But patterns matter. I wanted to scream. I wanted to grab his phone, his laptop, his neat little life, and shake the truth out of it. Instead, I smiled. I stayed quiet. That was my mistake. 2 weeks later, Robert invited me to lunch. Just the two of us. He said he wanted to clear the air. We met at a quiet restaurant. White tablecloths. Soft music. He ordered for both of us. You seem tired, Emily, he said. I am, I answered. He nodded slowly. Marriage can be heavy. He leaned forward. If there's something you need to tell us, now would be the time. I felt trapped, like a mouse in a glass box. I have nothing to confess, I said, because I've done nothing wrong. He smiled. That cold smile. Truth always finds a way, he said. That night, Daniel didn't come home. I sat on the couch until the sun came up. I didn't cry. I felt empty. Hollow. The next morning, Daniel called. My dad wants to see us, he said. Together. My stomach dropped. We met at Robert's office. Big windows. Dark wood. Power in every corner. Robert offered us seats. Daniel sat stiffly beside me. He wouldn't look at me. That's when Robert asked the question. Are you sure you want to stay married to her? Daniel swallowed hard. He looked at me. His eyes were full of pain. I don't know, he said. Robert nodded like a judge. Then he pulled out his phone. I found something, he said. You deserve to hear it. He pressed play. That was the recording. My voice. Saying worse things. Crueler things. Admitting to cheating. Laughing about fooling Daniel. Talking about taking his father's money and leaving. The room spun. I stood up so fast my chair fell over. This is fake. I cried. You know me. You know I would never. Daniel stood too. Stop, he said. His voice was broken. Just stop. Robert watched me like he was studying an insect. I think it's best if you leave, he said calmly. Daniel needs space. That was the moment something inside me snapped. I saw it then. The careful timing. The perfect lies. The way Robert never once looked surprised. This was not an accident. This was a plan. I walked out without another word. My hands were steady. My heart was not. I didn't go home. I went to my sister's house. I slept on her couch and stared at the wall all night. By morning, my sadness had changed. It hardened. I knew 3 things. 1. The recordings were fake. 2. Robert made sure they were believed. 3. He chose the wrong woman to destroy. I opened my laptop. I began to dig. And that was when I found the first real crack in Robert Wright's perfect life. Before I could read more, my phone rang. It was Daniel. And he was screaming. Daniel was screaming so loud, I had to pull the phone away from my ear. Did you do this? He shouted. Did you send people to my dad's office? Did you break into his files? I did nothing, I said, my voice calm in a way that surprised even me. I don't even know what you're talking about. He was breathing hard. I could hear footsteps, doors opening and closing. My dad says someone tried to hack his computer, Daniel said. Someone tried to steal records. My heart skipped, but I did not let it show. I've been sleeping on my sister's couch, I said. I haven't left the house. There was a long pause. I don't know who to trust anymore, he said quietly. That hurt more than the shouting. After the call ended, I sat very still. Then I smiled, because I knew exactly what Robert was talking about. I had not hacked his computer. Not directly. I had simply remembered something he forgot. Robert Wright liked to control everything. But he trusted machines more than people. And machines always leave trails. Before I married Daniel, I worked part-time for a local nonprofit. We helped families with legal problems. One of our volunteers was a retired IT worker named Linda. She taught me a lot. Not hacking, just how systems breathe, how files hide, how lies leave marks. The night before Robert called Daniel, I logged into an old shared drive. One Robert didn't know still existed. And there it was. A folder labeled Audio Projects. Inside were dozens of files. My name was on 3 of them. I didn't listen right away. I just stared. My hands were cold. My mouth was dry. Then I pressed play. I heard myself. Or pieces of myself. Old voice messages to Daniel. Voicemails I left years ago when we were dating. Sentences cut apart and stitched together. Words bent into weapons. My chest hurt. But I kept listening. Then I found something better. A file marked Draft Practice. It wasn't me. It was Robert. His voice was clear, sharp, angry. "She'll never fit," he said.
"She's weak."
"She doesn't belong in this family." Another file. "I'll make Daniel see reason. One way or another." My legs trembled. I had to sit down on the floor. This wasn't just about me. This was about control. About ownership. I copied everything. Every file. Every date. Every hidden note. Then I waited. The next day, Daniel showed up at my sister's house. He looked terrible. His eyes were red. His hands shook. "I need to see your phone," he said. I handed it to him without a word. He went through everything. Messages.
Calls.
Emails. Photos. When he was done, he sat down and covered his face. "I don't understand," he said. "Why would my dad do this?" I wanted to tell him everything. I wanted to show him the files. I wanted to end it right there. But I didn't. Because revenge is not about speed. It is about timing. "I don't know," I said softly. "But I know I didn't do any of it." He nodded slowly. "I asked him for the original recordings," Daniel said. "He said they're protected. That he'll show them when the lawyer says it's okay." Lawyer. That word burned. Robert was not just trying to end my marriage. He was trying to erase me. To leave me with nothing. After Daniel left, my sister hugged me. "You look different," she said. "I am different," I answered. That night, I made a plan. Step 1. Learn everything. I started with Robert's past. Old business deals. Lawsuits that disappeared. Properties bought cheap and sold fast. Names that showed up again and again. One name stood out.
Mark.
The same Mark from the fake messages. I searched deeper. Mark Reynolds. Former employee. Fired quietly 8 years ago. Signed an agreement. Paid to leave town. Paid by Robert. My heart beat faster. I found Mark living 2 states away.
New job.
Small apartment. No social media. I wrote him a message. "You don't know me, but I think we both have a problem named Robert, right?" He replied 3 days later. "I've been waiting for this message." We talked on the phone that night. Robert had framed him for stealing company money. Used fake emails. Fake audio. The same tricks. "I lost everything," Mark said.
My job.
My reputation. My fiancé left me. "Why didn't you fight back?" I asked. "Because he scared me," Mark said. "And because I didn't have proof." I swallowed. "I do," I said. Silence. Then he laughed.
Not happy.
Not sad. Just tired. "Then maybe it's time," he said. While I worked quietly, Robert worked loudly. He filed for separation on Daniel's behalf. He froze our shared accounts. He told people I was unstable. Dangerous. Parents at my school job started asking questions. My boss asked me to take time off. I smiled. I nodded. I waited. Then Robert made a mistake. He invited me to talk. He sent a message himself. "No lawyer. No middleman. Emily. Let's end this cleanly.
Meet me."
I agreed. We met in his office again. Same chairs. Same cold air. "You've caused enough trouble," he said. "Sign the papers. Walk away. I'll make sure you're comfortable." "Comfortable how?" I asked. He slid a check across the desk. It was a lot of money. I didn't touch it. "You think this is about money?" I asked. He smiled. "Everything is about money." I leaned forward. "You taught Daniel how to lie," I said. "But you forgot to teach yourself how to hide." For the first time, his smile slipped. "What are you talking about?" he asked. I stood up. "This isn't over," I said. "It's just starting." That night, Daniel came to my sister's house again. "I heard my dad offered you money," he said. "Yes," I answered. "Did you take it?" "No."
He looked at me for a long time.
"I found something today," he said. My heart raced. "What?" I asked. "A backup drive," he said. "Hidden in the garage. Old files. Audio edits. Your name." I didn't speak. "I think my dad lied," he said. His voice broke. "I think he destroyed our marriage." I reached for his hand. I can prove it, I said. He looked up. Hope and fear mixed in his eyes. Then do it, he said. We didn't know Robert was listening. 2 days later, my sister's house was broken into. Nothing was taken, except my laptop, the one with all the files. And written on the wall, in red paint, were 3 words. Stop digging, Emily. I stared at the words on the wall until my sister pulled me back by the arm. Emily, get out, she whispered.
Now.
The red paint looked wet.
Fresh.
Like the warning had just been written for me. Robert was not hiding anymore. The police came. They took pictures. They asked questions. I told them the truth. Or at least the safe parts of it. They nodded, wrote notes, and left with careful faces that said they did not want trouble with a man like Robert Wright. That night, I didn't sleep. I kept hearing his voice in my head.
Calm. Smooth. Certain.
Everything is about money. He was wrong. Some things are about power. Some things are about pride. And some things are about revenge. By morning, my fear was gone. In its place was something sharper. Focus. I called Mark. They took my laptop, I said. He didn't sound surprised. I figured they would, he said. That's why I asked you to send me copies. My breath caught. I did, I said slowly. Every file. Every note. Good, he said. Because I did something too. Mark had spent the last 2 weeks gathering his own proof. Old bank records. Emails saved by mistake. Payment logs tied to Robert's companies. He paid people, Mark said. A lot of people. To lie. To disappear. I closed my eyes. How do we make anyone listen? I asked. We don't start with everyone, Mark answered. We start with the right one. The right one turned out to be Sarah Collins. She was an investigative journalist from Columbus. She had written about local corruption before. She had been sued twice and won both times. She agreed to meet us. We sat in a small diner off the highway. She ordered black coffee. She listened without interrupting. When I finished, she leaned back. If this is real, she said, it's big. It's real, I said. And he's still doing it. She looked at me carefully. Why haven't you gone public? She asked. Because I want him to feel safe, I answered. She smiled. Just a little. I like you, she said. Let's talk proof. Over the next week, we built the story. Slowly.
Carefully.
Every claim matched with a file. Every file backed by dates, voices, money. Meanwhile, Robert pushed harder. Daniel told me his father had hired a private investigator. Someone was following me. A black car parked across the street every night. Then came the restraining order request. Robert claimed I was harassing him, that I was unstable, that I was obsessed. I stood in court and listened as his lawyer spoke about me like I was a problem to be solved. The judge looked tired. Ms. Carter, he said, do you have evidence to support your claims? Yes, I said. I handed over a small flash drive. The judge frowned. What is this? An original audio file, I said. Unedited. Robert's head snapped up. The judge pressed play. It was Robert's voice. Clear. Angry. Saying my name like it was dirt. The room went silent. The judge stopped the recording. This hearing is adjourned, he said sharply. I will review this evidence immediately. Robert didn't look at me as he left. He looked scared. That night, Daniel came over again. He looked different now. Quieter. Older. I don't know how to fix this, he said. I touched his face. This isn't yours to fix, I said. It's his. The next morning, Sarah's article went live. It didn't name Robert yet. It named a local businessman. It described the method. The lies. The recordings. People started talking. By noon, Robert's office phone was disconnected. By evening, his lawyer stopped returning calls. But Robert was not done. At midnight, my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. You think you've won, Robert said. My blood ran cold. This is just noise, he continued. I built this town. I can break you. You already tried, I said. You failed. He laughed. Meet me, he said. One last time. You owe me that. I knew it was a trap. I went anyway. We met at his lake house. The place Daniel loved as a child. The house was dark except for one light in the living room. Robert sat alone. I could have made you rich, he said. All you had to do was leave quietly. I'm not quiet, I said.
He stood.
You took my son, he said. You took my name. I took nothing, I answered. You gave it away. He stepped closer. You have no idea what I'm capable of, he whispered. I pulled out my phone. I do, I said. And so does everyone else. I pressed play. The room filled with his voice. Confessing. Threatening. Admitting everything. His face drained of color. What have you done? He asked. I smiled. What you taught me, I said. I recorded you. Suddenly, headlights flashed through the windows. Police cars. Media vans. Sarah had kept her promise. As officers stepped inside, Robert backed away. This isn't over, he hissed. I looked him straight in the eye. Oh, I said. It is. As they put the cuffs on him, he turned toward me one last time.
And smiled.
That smile told me something terrible was coming next. That smile stayed with me long after Robert was taken away. It followed me into the courtroom weeks later. It followed me into my sleep. It whispered that men like him never fall quietly. The news exploded the next morning. Sarah's second article dropped like a bomb. This time, it had names.
Dates.
Audio clips. Bank records. Everything tied straight back to Robert Wright. The town I thought I knew cracked wide open. People who once praised him stopped answering calls. Business partners rushed to make deals with prosecutors. Old employees came forward one by one, carrying stories they had been too scared to tell. I was no longer the liar. I was the key witness. Daniel sat beside me during every meeting with lawyers and investigators. He didn't touch me much. We were careful with each other, like two people walking through broken glass. I'm sorry, he said one night, his voice small. I should have believed you. I know, I said. And I meant it. Trust doesn't snap back into place. It has to be rebuilt, brick by brick. Robert was charged with fraud, witness tampering, illegal surveillance, and obstruction of justice. More charges followed as more victims came forward. Mark testified. So did 3 others. Then 5. Then 9. Every story was the same. Fake recordings. Fake proof. Real destruction. In court, Robert looked smaller. Still sharp. Still watching me. But smaller. He never admitted guilt. Men like him never do. Then came the last thing he tried to take from me.
Daniel.
On the 3rd day of trial, Robert's lawyer claimed I had manipulated Daniel. That I had planned everything. That I was the true liar. Daniel stood up before anyone could stop him. That's enough, he said. The courtroom froze. He turned to the judge. My father taught me how to lie, Daniel said. He taught me how to hide. But my wife taught me what truth looks like.
He looked at me then. And I failed her, he said.
But I won't do it again. Robert stared at his son like he was seeing a stranger. That was the moment Robert Wright truly lost. The verdict came fast.
Guilty.
On all counts. Robert was sentenced to 22 years. When the judge read the sentence, Robert didn't look angry. He looked empty. After everything, the silence was the loudest part.
The town changed.
His buildings were sold. His name was stripped from boards and plaques. People stopped whispering and started apologizing. I went back to work. Parents hugged me. Kids drew me pictures with hearts and smiles. My boss offered me my job back with a raise. You didn't just survive, she said. You showed courage. Daniel and I didn't rush anything. We went to counseling. We talked.
We cried.
Some days were good. Some days were heavy. But they were honest. One evening, months later, we sat on the porch of a small house we rented together. The sun was setting. The air was calm. I don't want to be like him, Daniel said. You're not, I answered. You chose different. He took my hand. So did you, he said. I thought about the woman I was at the start of all this. Quiet. Careful. afraid of making waves. She didn't exist anymore. In her place stood someone stronger. Not louder, stronger. Mark called me the day Robert was transferred to prison. "It's over," he said. "For him," I answered. He laughed. "Thank you," he said, "for giving me my life back." After we hung up, I sat alone for a while. I didn't feel happy. I felt free. Revenge is not about hurting someone back. It's about taking your power where they tried to bury it. Robert asked me if I was sure I wanted to stay married to his son. He thought he was ending my story. Instead, he gave me the beginning of my own. And this time, no one gets to rewrite my voice.